Hey, what's up? It's your girl Nique, and I'm giving you guys a follow-up to my interview that I did with Miss Jenae Alexandria. Now, if you guys are under a rock and you have not followed any of my Nature Boy coverage and you have no idea who this beauty is, well, she is the woman who basically put Nature Boy behind bars. She stood up for herself, she called the cops, and she reported a crime that was done against her. He went to trial for it, and when he went to trial, there was several other cult or ex-cult members who testified and gave their accounting of their interaction with him and helped seal his fate with life behind bars. Now, one of the people who testified was Velvet, and in my interview with her, I asked her a question about Velvet. Velvet must have seen my interview because she then later did a live where she was crying, breaking down, and responding to some of the things that was talked about in my interview. Now, for those of you who are new to this Nature Boy saga and you can't keep up with who's who, Velvet is the woman who he was married to at one point. He has a baby with her, and she was basically the queen of the cult at one point in time. Now, once they broke up, she left the group. She then, after Jenae, the one who filed charges against him, after Jenae filed charges, had a baby with Solar. Solar left from the situation with Jenae and then went to the woman who was forbidden for them to touch, which was Velvet, and had a baby with her. Now, Velvet and Jenae have been having some type of back and forth ever since that because, Jenae felt betrayed, and I wanted to know what she felt about the continued animosity. I'm going to show you guys a quick snippet of the question that I asked her in my interview and then show you what Velvet said in response. At the end of right before sentencing, you all gave a victim's impact statement and you told about how you felt like he impacted your lives and you gave your statement. After you gave your statement and a couple of other people gave their statement and then Velvet gave her statement. How did you feel about Velvet's participation in the trial and her lack of acknowledgement of you?
Whew, that's a question right there. All right. So with Velvet participation in the trial, I was very grateful for that. Because, she played a part. And that's cool, whether she did it for herself, which is great because she needed to do that for herself. She's been abused by this man forever, and it helped in my case because he did do revenge on her as well, so it showed the pattern of behavior that he has. The acknowledgement of me being minimum to none is to be expected. I'm doing my best just to just keep on the question because I could say a whole lot of other things and it can go other ways, but it's expected from a narcissist. That's all I'm gonna say. It's all about her.
Now, make sure y'all check my interview out with her. She is writing a book, or she did write a book about her experience, and she does have pre-orders available. So definitely check all of the interview that I did with her out. But let's see what Velvet had to say as it pertains to her saying that the acknowledgement or no acknowledgement that she gave her was expected because she's a narcissist. Here's what Velvet said.
It's expected from a narcissist.
And then the woman turn around and then be like, oh, well, because you got the same daddy as my baby, I don't like you. Bitch, what? I don't even want your nigga, his nigga. I don't give a who nigga. I don't want him. I don't want him. I don't need him. I don't need him. I don't need him. I don't want him. I make this shake around here. Always make shit shake around here. When I was when my walls was back against, when my back was against the wall, and I was standing on pins and needles, I got myself out that situation. Not you, not him. I did that for me and my babies because I was blinded somewhere. Got into the situation blinded somewhere, but I made that shit happen. Thank you for what? Thank you for what? If you are just as much as a victim as me, or I'm just as much as a victim as you, why am I apologizing? I mean, thanking you. Why am I thanking you? I don't have to thank you for anything.
So maybe she wants to flip the narrative, or maybe she wants to create her own narrative, but that wasn't the question. The question was not about her thanking her. The question was the fact that she didn't acknowledge her. Mm-hmm. How did you feel about Velvet's participation in the trial and her lack of acknowledgement of you? Now, in her victim impact statement, she acknowledged other victims of Nature Boy, but she did not acknowledge the reason why they were at the court in the first place, which is what prompted my question. So no one said anything about you thanking her. My question was you acknowledging her. But before I play any more, let me play her victim impact statement, her response, and then we'll play more of what she has to say.
All right, Velvet, if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the evidence you'll give to the court today will be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can put your hand down if you'll please introduce yourself again.
I'm Velvet Marquez.
And Velvet, did you want to address the judge as she considers an appropriate sentence for Mr. Bishop?
Sure, yes.
Okay. Please go ahead and tell her what you'd like to tell her.
First of all, I just want to thank you for your time, for your patience, because it was drawn out for a very long time. I'm counting years. And everything that Kendra just said, she put it in a nutshell. And moving forward from it all and trying to heal from it all and knowing that I was targeted from a spiritual standpoint, I've literally had to get myself comforted so that I can understand what the Bible is, who God is, who Jesus is to me. I've really had to unravel myself from thinking that an actual person was here as the second coming of Christ. And I know that may sound absurd to a lot of people because a lot of people have spiritual backgrounds, but I was searching for who God meant to me in my life at the time of Jordan. So
all right, so I had to skip ahead from her victim impact statement because she kind of went on a tangent. But let's get to the part where she acknowledged other victims.
And so the young men who follow Nature Boy, who follow Ezekiel Bishop, this is what happens to you when you harm people that's innocent. And I want to thank Kendra. And I want to tell you that I've always thought you was a beautiful young woman. And so I have you, Brianna. And so have I and everybody else. It was the environment that kept me away because I said no. And I was being physically abused for it every single day. And the only reasons why I came back to Combination so many times was because I was under the impression that we were going to make it work for Eliana, our daughter, because that's what it was about. And it was about Sonar's child that he had with Jenae, and with Zoka. And it was about your child, Kendra, that you had with Aaron. And it was about everybody's child, everybody's children should have been protected. And everybody should have been protected. And I'm just grateful for everybody who continue to support us and fought on our behalf to bring all of this to the light, which I'm really not surprised because Nature Boy and Ezekiel Bishop had already put everything out for everybody to see. And so I thank everybody again. And that's all I have to say.
Now, in her impact statement, the time that she slipped and said Jenae, she corrected herself and meant the baby that Solar had with Zoka because that was what he had with Zoka in the cult. So when she slipped and said Jenae's name, it wasn't because she was acknowledging Jenae, it was because it was a slip. And in my video of the victim impact statement, I told her that she should have thanked Jenae. However, that is not the question that I asked Jenae in the interview that she's responding to. I asked her about the acknowledgement of her, the same way she acknowledged Brianna, the same way she acknowledged Kendra. I thought that she would have acknowledged Jenae in the same, way that she acknowledged them. Now, obviously, they don't like each other, so she don't have to be chummy about it. And she could give like a politically correct, like, we're here because da da da. If you're going to single out and acknowledge other people, I felt like it was kind of funny. And it showed your hate for her, the fact that you wouldn't acknowledge her and you would go all the way around acknowledging her. But anyways, let's get back to her response. And let me remind you of the question that I specifically asked Jenae. How did you feel about Velvet's participation in the trial and her lack of acknowledgement of you?
As much as a victim as me, or I'm just as much as a victim as you. Why am I apologizing? I mean, thanking you. Why am I thanking you? I don't have to thank you for anything. I'm thanking God. Thank you, God, for allowing things to move around in our favor. In my favor. But you don't know me enough, and you're not around me enough to know that I pray and live plural. I don't live singular. I live a plural lifestyle, meaning that I do and think things for many other people, including myself. This is not something that I just be like, I just need to. No, this is how God has me built innately, my personality. I'm always thinking about someone else. I'm always thinking about something else beside myself. How is that negative? When does that occur to be negative? If I'm not implementing anything negative into anyone's life. I was the one motherfucking being made of carbonation. You know how many times I denounced wanting to be queen of carbonation? Do you know how many times? You would never know, because that was never recorded and put online. Do you know how many times I was around these same women who sitting up there, these same women trying to fight over the position, and I'm willingly trying to give it away? Do you know how many times I sat in meetings and circles in front of all of these women and men, and I'm speaking up for myself and for them, and they just sitting up there looking like, you ain't, you need to, and then when we leave and everything is over, they still attacking me, and I don't say shit about them. I don't do shit to them. I'm not around them. I don't take no money from them, steal from them. I'm not even worried about that. I don't even know what they do. I don't even have a thought to understand what they doing. Not because I don't care, but because I got my own shit going on. I got my own shit going on. Rightfully. I'm not obligated to be your friend. I'm not obligated to fuck with you. I'm not obligated to want to like you. I'm not obligated for none of that shit.
Now, Velvet, it's a lot of new people to this Nature Boy saga. A lot of people are just now finding out who you are, Nature Boy is, the whole shebang. There are many of us who've seen you guys for years, and then there are people who are just now finding out about this story because it's national news. Now, to the people just now finding out about this story, that sounds all well and good. That sounds like you giving a good message, because parts of what you're saying is true, but parts of what you're saying is very disingenuous and not real at all. Okay, now the part that you said that was true was you're not obligated to be anybody's friend. You're not obligated to F with anybody. You're not obligated to be cool with who you're not cool with. And you're right about that. And in my question to her, it wasn't about you being cool with her. It was just acknowledging why we are all here. That was just it. Now, the part where you are claiming that you just mind your business and you don't harm anybody and you don't do this and you don't do that. You're disingenuous with that part, because you, after she left, embraced her as a friend. Now, there are receipts online of you guys going on panels and talking about your experience in the group, and you were taking her under your wing and everything like that. I myself personally seen you under her comments and her under your comments, and you guys were in fact building a friendship. Now, a lot of people, when I asked her the question about your acknowledgement and y'all kind of little beef, people were bringing up Zoka, and I asked her just out of fairness, but in reality, they had like this whole joint in polygamy thing that Nature Boy was teaching, versus after you guys got out of that whole saga, out of the whole BS of a charade that Nature Boy presented to you guys were trying to live more normal lives, okay? And within you guys living more normal lives, she was pursuing Solar, which you knew that. You guys were kind of denouncing everything that he taught y'all, along with like the polygamy aspect and all of the things that he taught you guys. And again, you embraced her, and then after you embraced her, took her under your wing because you left before she did. You exuded a certain level of strength, and she was coming into that. You then went behind her back and was tiptoeing, and then later had a baby with the man that you knew how she felt about. So let me just show a little clip of when you guys were on a panel, you were embracing her, you guys were all telling your stories, okay? And then I'll be back to play some more of what you got to say, because it's really not, it's disingenuous to say the least. Especially the part where you acting like you absolutely did nothing for her not to like you, when you were calling her a liar and saying that she lied about the R word or being R-worded. And you claimed that it was a whole sham, but you ran to the court to testify in this whole sham of a saga and didn't acknowledge her. But again, I digress. Let me play that clip of those two things, and then we'll listen to more of your rant.
I definitely know she's not okay, because after my short experience with him sexually, like, I was in pain all night. Y'all were there to witness me. Like,
I
was like, yo,
about
like, and they're like, you're in resistance. I'm like, no, like, it's something deeper than me just being in resistance to his energy. Of course I was in resistance, but like, I was in pain all night, literally right after that happened. And my body has not been the same since. I'm still healing from that situation, so I can only imagine like what she's going through after all of her sexual experiences with him, you know. I just wanted to speak on that. I personally feel like Nature Boy, everybody who he had sex with outside of me, it was like I feel like it was very, very traumatic, because of the fact that for some reason Nature Boy would, like, he would fully express his demonic energy with you guys. Like, he could never fully express his demonic energy. You know what I'm saying? He could never do that with me. So things he did to y'all and traumatic sexual experiences that y'all had with him, I necessarily didn't go through the sexual, you know what I'm saying, and making you feel like you had no control over the situation. He never did that with me. The only sexually traumatic thing that I went through with Nature Boy was every time he got women into our relationship, he always wanted all of us to give him head at one time, like all the time.
I wanted to say something real quick, because I had saw something in the comment box, and people was like, you know, fix your face, because the reason why my face is like, because is because people said, someone said about my lock, how Naturi is still a part of the combination of a lock. First, let me just say, remember who started the lock.
Okay, so as you see, that is just a quick clip of them having their united camaraderie and becoming cool, and all giving their testimony as to what they experienced with Nature Boy. Now, moving forward, once she stabbed Natiri in the back, she did a live basically admitting that she befriended her. She admitted that she was cool with her. She would hear her vent about Solar and all of those things. And then when she got tired of hearing about it and influencing her to leave Solar, and when Natiri didn't listen to her, she stopped being her friend. And then after she stopped being her friend, she started dating Solar. But then in this rant that she's given now, she's trying to act like she's the victim in this whole situation between Natiri, Solar, and her dynamic. Let me show y'all the live that she did. It was like a little ways back when, you know, her and Solar got together. She first was announcing that she was pregnant by him, and she started to get backlash because of it. And let's hear her explanation, and then we're going to go back current day to her rant that she did in response to my interview that I did with Jenae.
We're going to go over here and watch this.
You want to talk about childish?
Over there.
You want to talk about childish? How about you tell people the actual truth? Because considering, let me shut up and wait for you to, because I got a lot to say. I do.
Yeah,
people want to try to make it seem like it's about jealousy. Jealous of what? Be insecure about what? I stand for the truth. I'm about the truth. You're not telling the whole truth. Period. That you've never done that. Ever. You don't even tell people how actually you were coerced into the that you did to Nature Boy to get him in jail and get him to the point that he's at right now. You didn't want to do that. You were coerced and talked to other people to do that.
Babe,
you a type of person
slow down.
Then when I finally get my protection order and I get myself situated and you leave from the call, you leave, and we hit each other back up because originally, you and I had a relationship way before Nature Boy, way before Solar, all of this. So we wake it back up with each other. And, we on good terms because, mind you, if I would have never held any of that against you, we wouldn't have never been cool. We was cool because I forgave you and I never held none of that against you. So and this is me living in Ohio. This was when I was living in Ohio. Me and you became back cool or whatever. So we on the phone, and actually we did a live where you started praying for me and my kids. Like, I hope Ellie, get a good father in her life and all of this and all of that and all of that. Where is that same energy? Now you don't want Eliana to have no type of good nothing? Like, it don't gotta be Solar. You just hate my baby just because I slept with Solar and had a baby for him. That's how you really feel about me. That's real. That's some real shit that's coming out of you just because I was with him. It don't even matter why I got with him. What matters is that we were together, we had a baby, and it woke this up out of you. Because who's to say if I was to continue to be around you, you could have sabotaged me the same way Solar sabotaged me, or the same way Solar sabotaged you, or the same way Nature Boy sabotaged us all. So this is really just showing me your true colors. Because if I really was jealous of you, or really had something against you, or really wanted to be with who you was with, I'd have still be with that nigga because he sure is in his pants about me. Period. Mad because he can't get in touch with me. Period. I don't want nothing from the situation. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be his friend. I don't want money from him. I don't want child support from him. I don't want none of that. Y'all can have all of that. Y'all can play around with pennies all y'all want. I'm over here living big. I'm living large. I'm accomplishing goals. I'm going for myself and for my kids. I've been taking care of my kids by myself. Been doing what I gotta do by myself. Solar and all of them, they wind up leaving Carbonation because they finally shut down or whatever. This girl, Jenae, gets into the relationship with Solar. Mind you, me and Jenae, we technically still cool. So she calling my phone every other day for advice. Like, yo, he doing this and he doing that. So I'm like, it sound like Nature Boy. This sound like Nature Boy. This sound like Nature Boy. So I'm telling her that it sound like Nature Boy. And she is completely neglecting our relationship, like our whole friendship. So in my mind, I'm like, my friends, the people who work with me, they listen to what I have to say, like, and vice versa.
I'm saying? So I started looking at it like, you draining me, chick. Like, you don't have, like, you not really hearing me. You're not really listening to me. So I started getting exhausted with me and her relationship. So I exit her out. I'm like, I'm not gonna be friends with you anyway. I don't, it is what it is. Like, I cut that relationship off. So from that moment of me doing that, way before this solar shit popped up, I wasn't cool with you because you started making yourself look like a liar when you wasn't telling the full story. Because truth be told, y'all, you and Solar was being toxic together. Y'all was doing some toxic shit together, and you wanted to stay in that toxic shit. So, and if you didn't, it would have been different. So he didn't fool you. He didn't make you look like nothing. You wanted to do that. That was your decision. You said it out your own mouth. You that you wanted to be in a relationship with him, and you thought he was going to change once the baby came. I ain't never had that in my heart for none of my baby fathers. They was telling me that we was going to have a family, and they switched up, and I made the decision to get the. And that's when they started going crazy on me because they couldn't be with me no more. Totally different situation, baby. You can't compete where you don't compare. So anyway, I started being cool with her, and then like months later or whatever, after that initial decision, maybe like 2 or 3 months later, I don't know how long it was, but it was some time later or whatever. Solar was like saying all this stuff, like he was hurt and all of that. And in my mind, I didn't never think that he was like crazy because I've never like been around these people to really be like have a judgment about their character. So I'm thinking that they went through something how I went through it. Like I'm really like giving them the benefit of the doubt because we always going through it. So I sent my condolences to Solar. So when I sent my condolences to Solar, it was a spark between us or whatever, and we decided to be together. Not to make you mad or jealous or none of that. Maybe on his part, but it didn't have nothing to do with you. So me and Solar together, and that's when I really got to see the real from the fake. And that's when I really got to understand like what was really going on. By the time that all happened, I was already pregnant. So,
girl, do you hear yourself? Like, do you talk and talk and talk and then listen to what you say come out your mouth and like listen to it and it actually makes sense? You literally said that you befriended her. She was calling you for advice. She was telling you about what was going on. You telling her he like nature boy. He like nature boy. Basically trying to influence her to leave him. Telling her that the situation is toxic. Telling her how bad the situation is. Then she leaves him and then you get with him. But then you're claiming that she's wrong for feeling some type of way. And you're saying that you left from being cool with her because she was draining you because she's venting about a man that she says wasn't treating her right. But then you decide to get with him. Girl. Anyway, so I just wanted to show a couple of these clips. Let's get back to her current rant because this was a minute ago that she said these things. But let's get back to her rant about my interview and the disingenuous nature of it all. I would respect Velvet a little bit more. And a lot of people in my comments, they were like, what makes Velvet any different from Jenae? Why do you big up Jenae and da-da-da? Because I don't feel that she's as disingenuous as Velvet. Okay. As it pertains to Velvet, she has said on multiple occasions how people could not say no to Nature Boy and whatever he want, they had to do. That's number one. Number two, when they were in the cult, that was practice. Polygamy was practice. That was kind of like pushed on them and then taken away from them and then pushed on them and then taken away. Nature Boy would arrange them with who he wanted them to be with, and then he would take them for himself. And all of those women should have understood that power dynamic because they all have admitted that they felt powerless to his demands. Now, once they got out of the cult and they start trying to live a normal life and try to walk away from things that he implemented on them, how he tried to force them in relationships, take them out of relationships, how they were put in polygamous situations thinking that, oh, we're taught to be one with each other in these relationships. And then when they leave out of the cult, they were trying to live normal. They were trying to have one-on-one relationships, the relationships that they could not have in the cult. They were trying to cultivate those relationships outside of that. One of the relationships that Nique said on multiple occasions she wanted to cultivate was a one-on-one relationship with Solar. She knew that. She heard her talk to her about that. And then after she tried to influence her to leave him, after she got mad that she wasn't listening to her, tell her how toxic he was and how much like nature boy he was, she then flipped the script double back and then got with him. So for that, I don't look at it as the same as Zoka. I don't hold her in the same regard as that situation when Nique, and not saying that Nique is innocent from everything, because she has her faults as well in certain aspects, and that's for her to take accountability on. But I don't look at it the same level because, number one, when she was joining into the cult, they were joining into the teachings of, okay, you be polygamous, you have multiple wives, and da-da-da, this is taught to you. When you break free from that and you're trying to live outside of that and live normally, then y'all all have this camaraderie and y'all come together and y'all all talk about how bad y'all was treated, how y'all wasn't able to do this, y'all wasn't able to do that, and y'all come to a level of understanding. And then you tell her, no, don't go with this guy, don't be with him, he's just like nature boy, go away from him, and then you be with that guy. I don't respect that, and I don't look at it the same way. Now, if Nique was going to Zoka and telling her, don't be with Solar, he's toxic, he's this, he's that, and then also that she could be with him, then I would look at that a little bit different, okay? But anyways, let's go to her rant that she did in response to my interview and hear more of what she had to say about it.
I don't take no money from them, steal from them. I'm not even worried about that. I don't even know what they do. I don't even have a thought to understand what they're doing. Not because I don't care, but because I got my own going on. I got my own going on. Rightfully. I'm not obligated to be your friend. I'm not obligated to with you. I'm not obligated to want to like you. I'm not obligated for none of that shit. Period. It don't matter what fucking choice I made. I live in my shit. I'm living in my shit. And like I said, ain't nobody finna just still come up. Listen, I'm a fucking survivor of abuse. Emotional abuse, physical abuse, spiritual abuse. Whose fucking choice was that? You think I decided to be a fucking victim of domestic violence? Come on now, no, that shit happened to me. It happens to me because of whatever reason. And at the end of the day, that reason I know very deeply in my roots. So at this juncture in my life, being that I have all of this wisdom and experiences that I've had because of the choices that I made, I'm not letting nobody else come in my life talking that I come in peace. You, because the same father that I have for my child is the father of your child, and he don't do it for neither one of them. So I'm not about to, I'm not about to try to have any intention to fuck your shit up. If anything, I'm gonna just be quiet and leave you the fuck alone and go mind my business like I've been doing, like I was doing. But for whatever reason, you're triggered for nothing. But you call me the narcissist though. I stay all the way in my lane. I stay all the way to my self. I stay all the way in my own life and mind my business. If you talking to me, you best believe it's because you done sit me some first and I opened it up and decided to engage. I don't gotta engage at all. Like, I don't have to at all. And I don't. I didn't initiate. I never initiate domestic violence. I wasn't abusing nobody. I was standing up for myself. Because you saw them just getting beat down by each other because this nigga said so. You think that after all the motherfucking beatings that I got, you think I'm about to let a bitch hit me? I gotta stand up for myself because ain't nobody out here standing up for me. Nobody not out here like, don't do that to Val. She ain't even doing that. You got a couple people, you know, I see my people, you know, the people that understand. I see them. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, at the end of the day, if you want to talk about taking accountability, a part of taking accountability is not letting people walk over me and do whatever they think that they can do just because that's who they are. Like, you can't come over here in anything up or doing or saying anything. Like, I didn't do you anything. You wanted to be with my nigga. You couldn't be with my nigga at the time, which is sickening to even say or even think. But at the end of the day, this shit happened. Whatever in the midst happened, you know what I'm saying, didn't work. You still tried to fuck on them, didn't work. You went to another nigga, 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 didn't work. I even went to another nigga and it didn't work. So who are you to talk about me in any way, any regard? And who are you motherfuckers sitting there bigging this lady up and gassing her the fuck up like she is the fucking superhero of the galaxy? Like,
Girl, you is so mad at her. And yes, I did big her up because she had the balls to take him down. Now, after she had her ish in motion, then did you go to the court and file charges or whatever? Yeah, kudos. You did that. But that was after she set things in motion and she was brave enough to go to the courts, okay? We'll see how your court case with him plays out, if it's still in motion. I don't even know what the status of it is. But for now, she took him down and freed a lot of people. So for me, I'm going to big her up. So yes, MFers like me is going to big her up, period. And instead of testifying in your own case, you testified in her case, which helped both of y'all get justice for things that he did to not only you, not only her, but several other people. And you were glad to run down there and get your vindication through a case that she brought forth. So I felt like, dang, you can't even acknowledge her while you acknowledging everybody else. That's not me saying, you know, be cool with her, none of that. But it's just the audacity in the way that you speak for me. But like I already said in my other coverage, I believe that Velvet is a victim as well. I just don't like her ways, and I don't like some of the things that she does. Did he hurt her? Yes. Did he treat her bad? Yeah. But did she have very, 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 very jacked up ways after the fact and during the fact? Yes, she did. And those things are a reflection in the way that she talks. It's crazy to me. But let's hear some more.
her card don't look much different than mine, but she got some shit on her card. But at the end of the day, she ain't exempt. You had a fucking baby with a narcissist too. Like, you feel me? So why are you out here bumping your fucking gums like you just this angelic motherfucker that just ascended out of the fucking nowhere? Like, who the fuck are you? Like, bitch, you done prayed over my children. You done told me, you know, we was gonna be friends and all, and then you lying in the process and telling half truths and all kind of shit. Like, bitch, who are you? For real. My thing is, I'm not about to continue to sit up here and let people willingly abuse me. Like, I'm not no victim, bitch. Y'all got me fucked up. Like, yes, that shit happened to me. I'm a victim in the sense that I was physically abused, emotionally abused, sexually abused. Yes, spiritually abused, emotionally abused. Yes, I was that happened to me. But I am not gonna label myself as no victim, because victims victimize, and I'm not victimizing shit. At the end of the day, I take care of my business. I handle my business. I take care of my babies, regardless of how it is getting done. Everything is in divine timing. I'm on the right path. I'm making sure that I'm safe. I'm making sure that everything is aligned. So that, for real, you just making yourself look even stupider. But the only reason why it hit my core is because I've been going through this for my whole life. My whole life. My whole life. So as soon as I'm thinking that it's over, as soon as I'm thinking like, all right, we can finally move on. You know what I'm saying? Here come the book. These motherfuckers just don't want to live in peace. You don't want peace. You don't want peace. You don't truly want peace. Because in the relationship, after the relationship, the only reason why I came at that lady is because she came for me, son. Period. And at the end of the day, why is you pressed over a nigga that don't want you? That's weak as f. My transcript is leaving, mother. Your transcript is wanting to be chosen by mother. Complete difference. So ain't no competition. Let's be clear. Everything that has ever came to me, everything that I have ever decided to do has come to me, has dropped in my lap. And I just so happened to decide. And I decided. And some decisions was good and some decisions was bad as f. But at the end of the day, these motherfucking spiritual community people talking about, I want to heal. I want to have peace. I'm coming into my divinity. I'm divine feminine. And all of this bullshit. But when the shit finally let her rest, here you go kicking up some dirt that you don't know shit about. Saying some shit that you gonna regret when shit hit the fan. Got your nose in a business that shouldn't even be there. Putting yourself in places that you're not supposed to be. You gonna get yourself up. Because God don't play about his chosen people. You see where Nature Boy at. You see where Nature Boy at. You see where Courtney at. You see where these niggas at.
Nature Boy is at where he's at because of her. Like, what do you see where Nature Boy is at? Yeah, in jail because she filed charges and went to court and went through the process and had an avenue for you to come testify to help put him where he needs to be at. Girl.
You see where Nature Boy at. You see where Courtney at. You see where these niggas at. So, tread carefully, especially around me, because I'm not letting you abuse me, harass me, bully me, all of that. None of that. It ain't your business if I got a job. It ain't none of your business how my children get taken care of. It ain't none of your business how I'm moving forward. It ain't none of your business how I'm healing and how I'm doing. That ain't none of your business.
Now, I don't know who she's referring to on this part about like caring about her kids, how she take care of them, if she has a job. Now, I need to run back everything that Jenae said about her because I don't remember that. I know for dang sure I didn't inquire about her kids, how she take care of them or anything like that. So I have to run back my interview to see if Jenae mentioned her kids because I don't remember that. But so I don't know what she's talking about right there. But anyways, let's hear some more. And then I'll play another, like a piece of my interview with Jenae, but you guys need to go watch the full thing and then we'll be out.
Period. The last time I heard of a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, they didn't say shit about their moves. They don't say shit about their moves. So anybody out here who telling all of their moves on social media and putting themselves out there just to be seen ain't got shit. They don't got shit. Period. Do you know? Reminder, and I know we got some women in the room. Do you know that being a mother is a job? Women work more than men. Facts. Majority, as of statistically speaking. You got women who are mothers and have 2 jobs on top of being a mother. If you are a mother, you know how stressful it is already to be a mother with no father. On top of getting a job and then maybe getting another one just so that you can support everything you got going on. But if you ain't got no kids and you haven't had different experiences, you really don't know what it's like. So of course your dumb ass gonna pass judgment and be like, what do woo? You got so many details and so many different things that come into play when you become a mother. You gotta think different. You gotta move different. You gotta feel different. You gotta be different. You gotta make different decisions opposed to a person who may not have those same requirements or responsibilities, should I say.
All right, so that's a piece of her rant that she did in response to my video. She did like an hour live and I was screen recording it while she was live, but it was like certain parts I would screen record, then I would stop my screen record, then I would start my screen record, then I would stop my screen record because she would like go off on tangents about other things. She went on a tangent about Nature Boy as well. She went on a tangent about Solar as well. I think I got a little piece of that. But then after she went live, she took her live down. So, you can find pieces of it other places. But anyways, let me play a little bit of what Jenae said in my interview about her in a little bit more detail. And then we will be out. I'll close with whatever she said about Nature Boy, and then we'll be out.
Just, I mean, it's expected from a narcissist. That's all I'm gonna say. It's all about her. And what if you guys want to see no accountability, that's what that looks like. Not over here. So I would say that. And I'm just saying that as a woman, who has been doing her work and can be forgiving, but cannot forget, what happened. She is on her own journey, and because a Nature Boy did a lot of things at a young age with her, she's been groomed very well by Nature Boy, and she just have a whole lot of accountability to take, for her, but all in all, I'm grateful that she participated in the trial. I'm grateful that, she got her justice, because it was just not just for me. I believe it was for a lot of the cult members, ex-cult members as well. And she was one of the main ones that needed to get her justice. So, and that's all I'm gonna say about that.
All right. So, as far as your child, or your beautiful daughter and her son being siblings, do you see in the future you guys being able to, kind of bury the hatchet so that your children can know one another, or do you think that'll probably take some time?
Just to be honest with you, it probably will take some time, and I need to see, honestly, I would need to see some true growth. Um, Here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this because a lot of people have an opinion on how I run my life and how I do things, especially with my daughter and the other woman involved. Um, with Velvet, she doesn't believe she did anything wrong. You know, she is yet to say any type of remorseful anything. She doesn't feel remorse for what she did. She thinks that, what she did was justified. And I cannot, but I am
What she did as far as what?
basically, from my opinion and from my standpoint, it just went behind my back and dated someone that I was really truly in love with, and I came to her about all the time. She said that I did that to her, which made her do it to me. First of all,
All right, I'm going to stop her right there. If you want to hear everything that she said about Velvet, everything that she said about their dynamic, definitely go watch my full interview that I did with her. It was a 2-hour interview and we went over several things. And one of the subjects was Velvet. And that is why Velvet took to the internet to kind of like break down and felt triggered by it. Now, Velvet, like I said, she also talked a little bit about Nature Boy in her live. And she kind of responded to the part where I said that she was kind of like a baby Nature Boy in the cult. And so she kind of defends herself in saying that she didn't really like put her hands on anybody unless they put their hands on, unless she was like defending herself. And she also brung up her dynamic with her father, growing up without her dad, and saying that he was an absentee father, and saying that basically when he came out there she didn't trust him or whatever. I'm gonna let her tell that part and then we'll be out on that note. Yeah, so let's just play a little bit more of her live and then we'll be out. Again, like I said, if you guys want to hear the whole interview that I did with Jenae, definitely go to my channel and watch it. But here is what other things that she wanted to clear up about some things.
At this point, and I don't think that there's nothing wrong with loving someone. I don't think there's nothing wrong with wanting a family. I don't think nothing's wrong with that. And I'm not going to ever let anyone make me feel bad about that. I'm not going to ever let anyone make me feel bad about how many fathers I have to the children that I have. Because in my life and what I've been through in my life, everything was a lesson for me to unravel me into the queen that I am. I had to be pruned back. Layers had to be peeled off. And experiences had to be had so that I could learn what I know now to give to my children. Because I didn't have it. My parents didn't have it. And their parents' parents didn't have it. So I'm thankful. I'm grateful for everything that I have, that I've been through, because it ain't take away from me. It ain't take away from me not one bit. It added to me wisdom. Yeah, it hurt like a mother. But I'm cool because I understand why. I have been bullied my whole life, rejecting my whole life, abandonment issues. You talk about abandonment issues. Not being able to express myself emotionally as a child growing up, wishing that my daddy would have been there for me throughout the years that I needed him, just like I needed him when he came to Mexico. See, if things was different in my life as a child, when my dad came to see me in Mexico, I probably would have trusted him a little more. I probably would have went with him, but I didn't, because I didn't understand, and I needed to learn. But I sit here to this day, and I'm grateful because when my dad showed up for me, that made me realize somebody do love me. See, my parents had a whole bunch of problems because of their childhood. And I'm tired. I'm tired of this. The only time you ever saw me hit anybody, the only time you ever saw me talk about anybody, curse anybody out, is because I was standing up for myself. Do you know how many times I was physically abused? Not only by the father of my children, because I'm standing up for myself. You couldn't walk 2 days in my shoes. Not even 2. So, I have so much love on the inside of me that I just want to share that. I want to share it. But I can't share it because I can't trust you. I can't even trust you. The people that's bullying me, harassing me, badgering me, all of this dumb shit are the same people that told me that they loved me. Literally. I had to fight, physically fight, to protect myself and my children from men and women who said that they loved me, said that they cared about me, and they didn't do shit. When they watched me get beat many, 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 many times. Nobody talks about that at all. And you know what I do? Sit back in the cut. And I support still, because at the end of the all of this, my children is safe. I'm safe. That's all I care about. I don't give a fuck about nothing else. When you in a position where you gotta fight people physically to protect yourself because a motherfucker is ordering them to do shit and say shit and be some kind of way, you won't ever know what that feels like until you in that position. You won't ever know what it's like. Ever. I've had compassion. I've had compassion. I forgave and 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 forgave. Anything I've ever done, it wasn't ever because of someone else. It was always because of my heart. That's what my heart led me to do. I felt like that was right at the time. And even though it was a bad decision, because yes, it was a bad decision, I'm still taking care of my own. I'm still getting it out the mud. My babies still need a roof over their head. My babies still need to be fed. My babies still need support and love around them. And I will never respect a mother who sits in front of the world on any accord, and call a child a demon. Do you not know how many times I got physically abused for protecting life? You know when somebody been abused. Bitch, you don't act like you abused. You don't. When a woman is down, you never put her down. I've had my fair share of putting a woman down when she was down at one point in time in my life. Was that the right thing to do? No. Even if she did come for me, I still shouldn't have never did it. Because she was never my problem. He was. And at the end of the day, I still got love for the whole situation. Because there's children involved. And not even only because there's children involved. It's we involved. Our hearts involved. Nigga. Our children will never know their fathers. As much as I was happy that won't affect, my life immediate, in a close vicinity because of the sentencing, it's just as much pain as I felt all at the same time. You will never know how that feel. You will never know how that feel unless you go through it.